to Music Tech Explained, the visual approach. My name is Edgar Rothermich, author of the best-selling book series Graphically Enhanced Manuals. This video will be about Pro Tools with 3 hopefully extremely useful tips and tricks to improve your workflow. Number 1. A brand new book for Pro Tools plus a freebie. Number 2. How to change the width of the channel strip and the level meters to one of 4 different sizes. And number 3. Quickly create new tracks with 5 different click actions or any combination of them. So let's get right to it. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button to get notified about exciting new videos in my Music Tech Explained YouTube channel. A brand new Pro Tools book. Yes, you might consider this a blatant advertisement, but before you skip over, hear me out, and not only because there is a free component to it. Yes, a brand new release in my Graphically Enhanced Manual series with the title Pro Tools 2020 How It Works. But why do we need another book for Pro Tools when there is already the PDF of the official user guide, then the course material of the certification, and a couple of slightly outdated third-party books? Let me provide just a few advantages of this new book. With 1,160 pages, it is the most comprehensive book. No other book includes so many screenshots, diagrams, and unique graphics that makes learning Pro Tools so much easier, hence the name Graphically Enhanced. Thousands of satisfied customers of my best-selling book series GEM really like this visual approach of learning. My books for Logic Pro 10 are the only third-party books endorsed by Apple. So if you are not familiar with my gems, check them out. The book also includes all the features for Pro Tools Ultimate. They are clearly marked throughout the book, so when you read through it, you know exactly if a feature or functionality is only available in Pro Tools Ultimate, in case you are not using the Ultimate version. The book is available as a PDF file from my website, as iBook on the Apple Bookstore, as Kindle, and as the 3-part printed books on Amazon. You can find all the links on my website with more information about the books at dingdingmusic.com/Pro Tools. I offer a 50% volume license discount for schools. Please send your inquiry to info@dingdingmusic.com. But don't take my word for it and see for yourself, because I made the complete chapter 14 about groups available as a free PDF and ebook. On 66 pages, you will learn everything about the 4 types of groups in Pro Tools: ad hoc groups, audio subgroups, VCA groups, and folder groups. Download links are also listed on my website. No matter whether you are a beginner, intermediate, or even an advanced user, this is just the best Pro Tools book for you. Now, onward to the next Pro Tools tip on how to set the channel strip and level meter width to any of the 4 different widths. With the ever-increasing number of tracks people have in their sessions, the real estate on your computer screen becomes more and more valuable. The question is, how many tracks can you see in your mix window at once? To squeeze as many tracks as possible on your screen, Pro Tools lets you adjust the width of those channel strips. With a widely known key command and a lesser known click action, you can change the width of the channel strip and the level meters for a total of 4 sizes. However, this adjustment is not as easy as selecting the size 1, 2, 3, or 4 from a menu selection. Instead, it is less obvious because you create these 4 sizes with a combination of 2 different commands: the wide mix narrow mix and the wide meter narrow meter. Here is the first command: wide mix narrow mix. The key command Option Command M, or for Windows user Alt Windows M, toggles the command wide mix narrow mix, which is also available as a menu command from the main menu View. It changes the width of the channel strips in the mix window. Please note that it has no effect on the tracks in the Edit window. Here's the second command, wide meter, narrow meter, which is a click action. For example, I switch to narrow mix. But if this is not narrow enough, then you can squeeze the width of the channel strip in the mix window even further with this click action. Here's how it works. Hold down all three modifier keys, Control, Option and Command, or for Windows user, Control, Windows, Alt, and click on the level meter of any of the channel strips. This toggles the width of the level meters between wide meter and narrow meter. Wide meter being the default and narrow meter being the thinner one. This click action to toggle the meter width works in addition to the channel strip width that you toggle with the Option command M key command. Because the meter width also affects the width of the channel strip, you end up with a total of 4 different widths that you can set your channel strip to. Wide mix with 2 options, set to wide meter or narrow meter, and the narrow mix also with 2 options, either set to wide meter or narrow meter. You might have to play around with a little to get the hang of it, and you will see that it has more effect on multi-channel tracks. Oh yeah, 2 little details to pay attention to. First, in addition to clicking on the level meters to change the meter width, you can also click on the meters on the sense slots if you have expanded sense view enabled. However, the width of these tiny level meters are not affected, only the track level meters. And remember, you can toggle expanded sense view from the view menu and selecting the expanded sense, or much quicker, hold down the command key and click on the sense selector button of any of the sense slots to toggle the expanded sense view for that slot, that little area with the arrow. The second little detail to be aware of is that this click action to toggle the meter width also affects the width of the small level meters on the track header of the edit window. And you can also use the click action to Control Option Command click on those meters to toggle the width. Lots of hidden options, and of course, all this is clearly illustrated and explained in my Pro Tools book. And here is the next tip: how to create different types of tracks without opening the New Tracks dialog, and instead using various click actions. The main procedure for creating new tracks in your Pro Tools session is to use the New Tracks dialog that you can open with a wide variety of commands. For example, from the main menu, Track, New, and you can see the corresponding key command, Shift Command N, or from the contextual menu when you right-click on the nameplate of any existing track in the Mix window, on the Edit window, or on one of the tracks in the track list. However, there is an additional option to quickly create new tracks without even opening the New Tracks dialog. You just double-click on the background of the Mix window or below the tracks in the Edit window. But there are a few very clever rules that makes this command extremely flexible. If you hold down the Command key, Control key for Windows, when you double-click on the background, you create a new audio track. If you hold down the Option key, Alt key for Windows, when you double-click on the background, then you create a new instrument track. If you hold down the Control key, or Windows key for Windows, when you double-click on the background, then you create a new aux input track. If you hold down the Shift key when you double-click on the background, you create a new master fader track. But it gets even better. You can hold down any combination of any of those modifier keys when double-clicking to create all those tracks at the same time. Here, I hold down the Shift, Control, and Command key, and when I double-click, it creates all 3 track types: one audio track, one aux input track, and one master fader track. Again, practice a few times and it becomes a real handy addition to your workflow. 2 things to pay attention to. When you double-click without pressing down any modifier key, then Pro Tools creates the track type that was created last. That means if you just created a new audio track with Command double-click or from the New Tracks dialog, then you just double-click on the background to create more audio tracks. Or if you just created a new aux input track, Control double-click on the background, then I just double-click again on the background, this time without any modifier key, and it creates another aux input track. The second thing you have to pay attention to is the track format, also known as channel width. Because this double-click action doesn't provide an option to set the channel format, for example mono, stereo, or any of the surround formats. Any newly created track uses the same track format of the track you created last. For example, if you use the New Tracks dialog and create a new audio track in stereo, then any new track that I create now with the Command double-click will create a new audio track with that stereo channel strip. If I create a mono track in the New Tracks dialog, then any new audio track that I create with a double-click action will also be in mono. Or when I created a 7.1.2 track from the New Tracks dialog, then a new track that I create with a double-click action will then create a new audio track with that same 7.1.2 channel width. Be aware that there is an exception with the instrument track, which always be in stereo when you create one with Option click on the background. So keep that in mind. Okay, that sums it up about a few of the lesser known features in Pro Tools that you can hopefully incorporate into your workflow. Of course, they are all well explained and illustrated in my new book Pro Tools 2020 How It Works, together with all the detailed functionality of Pro Tools and Pro Tools Ultimate. Thanks for checking it out, I appreciate it. Don't forget to read my free Logic and Pro Tools tutorials and check out the books in my graphically enhanced manual series. By the way, on Apple's iBook Store, you can download free samples of all my books in the special interactive multi-touch iBooks version, the best way to learn a software application. All the links are available on my website dingdingmusic.com.